Hello. Welcome all. Welcome. Happy Friday. I'm hoping that it is nicer wherever you all are because it's miserable here.
Rainy and dark.
It's dreary and I'm in a funk today and the rain is not helping. So I'm hoping that once I get going, the funk cloud leaves. Hello from Puerto Rico. I'm glad you're all here. Thank you. Thank you for being here with me on this Friday. I have several cards planned, several somewhat prepped, some that I've got the completed cards already done, and then the last moment I had another idea, so that one I haven't prepped for, but we could do if we have time. Hello, I'm glad you're all here. Okay, so it's Friday. It's Friday. Before we get started, I am planning on going live Sunday at 3. I put in my Facebook time what time of the day most people wanted, and they said 3 p.m. So I'm hoping to do that on Sunday, as long as I don't get too tired. I've been working a lot lately. Welcome, I'm glad you're here. Okay, so today, I'm really excited about today. In fact, this live has been on my radar for a long time, ever since Kinnery over at Pinkfresh told me a few months ago. She said to me, I'm having a big clearance sale on November 7th. Mark your calendar if you'd like to go live. And here we are. So if you've been here for a bit, you might need to refresh your page to get everything to load in the YouTube description below. But Pinkfresh is having a huge clearance sale, and it's a big one. It's a big one. So the nice thing about it is these are all older products. So if you have Pinkfresh products, you might have some of these products on hand. Some of them I've used in videos before. So you hopefully get some new inspiration. I am focusing on partial die cutting techniques and variations to give you unique cards. So these are techniques that you can do with a lot of different products. If you have some stamps and coordinating dies, a lot of these things would work for you. I have 4, possibly 5 cards. The nice thing is, again, a lot of the products that are on clearance, I have card examples that I can show you and videos using those products. And I have all of it in my YouTube description below. But first, let me show you what Pinkfresh has going on, because it's very generous. Kinnery said that she's got some new exciting things coming soon, and so she needed to make some room in the warehouse. So we have a clearance sale. So can you put up the 50% off clearance? Okay, so there I think are like 90 products that are 50% off. That not up to 50. They're all 50% off. I believe the prices is marked, limited supplies, so on and so forth. So that is their big clearance sale. There is a link to that right at the top of my YouTube description under the supplies. And she said, because I'm going live, she is giving an additional 10% off with the code JMcGuire, in addition to that 50% off of those items. So all the prices are marked half off. Then if you use that code at checkout, you get another 10% off. But there's something even better. This is insane. This is why I was excited about this live. Can you show the free gift? Look at this. This is a large die set. That's a card panel, right? Die set. It's a $21 value, and you get that die free with every order. Every order. It excludes gift cards and events, but any product you get, that comes for free, no minimum. What happens is a pop-up will come up and to let you know about the free gift, you just need to add it to your cart. Okay, so be sure to read those details about how to get these codes and all of that in the description below. Oh, so some of the products are 75% off now too. Okay, well there you go. There you go. So a lot of ways to save, but again, if you have any Pinkfresh product, you probably have some of these on hands, and we'll be doing some fun techniques regardless. Yeah, isn't that great? Isn't that great? That's great. I think it's great. I believe Jody is here for Pinkfresh. I think Kathleen might be in there also under her personal username. So I appreciate them being here. Yes, that Gatsby die, I believe that's a new product. They had a foil plate a while ago. That was, I think, a free gift. Now it's a die. So I'll show it to you. Let me show you the free gift. Let me show you it. I gotta find it. Here it is. Okay. Let's see if that's set up right. Okay, there we go. So this is the Gatsby frame. Let me go ahead and cut it from a piece of cardstock so you can see what it does. There is a center one. This doesn't cut an outside edge. It just does the little pattern. But then you can use it with that, which would cut the outside edge. Hi, Jody. Yes, and while you're there, yes, their event in February, the sales are up for that. And I'm one of the teachers too. But you don't get a free gift with that. That's one of the things that is excluded. Okay, so this will cut an A2 panel, 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches, and also do a pattern in it. I actually didn't plan a card using the free gift. Maybe I should have. Maybe if something works, if it all works, I can try to add it in. There was a question that went by. What did it say? What should I try from Pinkfresh? I've never tried. I'll show you lots of things today. I'll show you lots of things. So here is the free die. Look at that cool pattern it does. Now it keeps the center in, but all you would have to do if you want to take the center out is do little snips right here. It's just connected by a little bit. So you can use it as a frame or just a backdrop. Put, like a floral image or something in the middle. It's a really cool looking product. So you get the idea. I'm not going to you can snip the center out and just have a frame. All right. Can you scroll it? Oh, good. Welcome. Yeah. Oh, and Brianne is here. Brianne is my link ninja. She is really good at finding things and answering questions and keeping me sane by sending me nice messages all the time. So thank you, Brianne, for being here. Okay, so that is the free gift with any order. Hello, Kathy. Madame Goddess. Madame Goddess. I like it. So here's the thing. I have cards to make. I also went through and I picked some of my favorite things from the sale, and I have examples to show from those, from previous videos I've done. So I could show you like a product that's on sale and a card using it before we create, or I could do that at the end and we create first. So let me know. Mike, why don't you do a poll? Should we look at some products and cards first or create first? Whatever we choose, I'll do the opposite, or I'll do the other later. Okay, first, the first option is show you some cards and products first. Or should I create first? Those are the two options. And Mike's going to put a poll up. Yeah, Brianne is pretty, so yeah, I think Gina told this because Brianne does linking for Gina too. Brianne does linking for Gina too. Long time ago, I texted Gina and I'm like, you need Brianne. And so Brianne helps her too. And I think Gina told this story in one of her lives. We found out when we saw Brianne in person a few weeks ago that Brianne does all this linking from her phone while cooking dinner. No. Seriously. You're sitting there doing nothing and you can't keep up with her. I have 2
computers and I can't keep up with her?
Nope. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so Mike put up a poll, so go ahead. Go ahead and vote for what you want. If I show the cards and products first, it would be about maybe 10, 15 minutes, and then we'll start creating. Yeah, my goat drawing is up there. Brianne's son, Eli, made that for me. Yeah, I have it there now, but I'm afraid the glass frame's going to break if I knock it over because I knocked that stuff down a lot. So I'm going to hang it on the wall, but I wanted it on display for a while. I know. As Kathy says, that is crazy, Brianne. I bow to you. I cannot even find my phone right now. Yeah, thank goodness for Find My Phone app. Okay, so most people said to show some cards first. So let me go ahead and do that. And this will also talk about at some of the products that I recommend. Some of the cards I have here to show you, they're cards I made, again, in previous lives or whatever. Some of them I just have images to show you. Mike's got them because I've mailed those cards. But let me first, before I show you, I forgot to mention at the top of the YouTube description, this is really important today, there is a link with the word live in it. Mike will add it to the chat. If you click that and open it up into a new page, at the top will be all the discount code info. Then underneath that will be thumbnails for everything I talk about. So you'll be able to find everything. A lot of this is underneath the in the supply list in the YouTube description, but I can't fit it all. Also in those thumbnails and in the description below, it says video in capital letters. And it'll say video and then like garden tapestry. That means that's a link to the video where I use garden tapestry. So I spent a lot of time linking to videos I've done in the past with these specific products. So if you're looking for ideas, you can check those videos. Most of what I'm using today, Pinkfresh told me they have a good amount of stock on. I tried to focus on things that they would have enough of. And you know, I picked out my favorites. All right. Okay, so it's all at the top of that YouTube description. Yeah, Pinkfresh they're great people. Great people. Okay, so first up, this is one that I might use at the end. A card idea came to me right before the live. So I have something in mind that I might do. Mike, is that 10%? I think the 10% is off only sale items or clearance items, right? Yeah. It's 10% off only 10 additional off the clearance items. So the prices are already marked down at least 50%. Then you get another 10% on top of that for clearance only. I think I have the hiccups. Okay. All right. So back to this. So this is one that I really like and I have an idea for later. This is garden tapestry. There is a press plate. There's a die set, and I like that their dies cut out the sentiments really close, a stamp set, and a coordinating stencil set. Now these are all sold separately and they're all in clearance, so you can, you know, pick and choose what you might want. Now I really like the unique style of this, and I've used it a few times. I have a video linked below. Just look for where it says video garden tapestry. This is one of the cards I did in a live. It was an easel video, and this one actually has a spinning element. So there's the card. You can see I did the image. I think I stamped it, used the stencils to color it, die to cut it out. And then this one's an easel card. It's kind of hard to show here, but when you open it, hold on, let me wind it up. I wound it up I wound it up before the video, and then I just wound it the opposite way just now. Anyway, you just wind it up and then it'll do a little spinny action. And then this one will stand on display like that, and it kind of spins around. So anyway, there's a video for this below, but I really like the style of this, and I'm hoping that I'll have time to do a card with it, because I have a simpler card idea with it that I think will be fun. Now I do want to mention, so that garden tapestry, all those different products, they're sold separately and they're all 50% off plus that 10%. Now this sentiment set, I actually told Kinnery, this is being clearanced. You can see mine are loved, and I've already given her a list of my wishes for additional sentiments to come out with this style, because I've really liked this style. Hi, May. So this is Happy Vibes. So there's a stamp set and there's coordinating dies available, and I've used this many times. You're going to see me use it today. You can see I used it here for Love You, Miss You, which I like, and you can cut that apart and use it separately, the two sentiments separately if you want. Inside I did, I hope you're smiling today. So this is definitely one of my most used stamp sets. I think I have some other examples with it that you'll see along the way, and I'll use it today. So that's Happy Vibes. One more thing on here that's actually on sale is, see this background with that texture? You're gonna see me do that later in this video. That is called, oh dear, oh me, oh my, hang on. That is called the Dotted Petals press plate. So you can use this press plate with your Better Press system, which I'll show you, or you can make an impression with your die cut machine like I did here, which I'll also show you. So you're going to see this plate used many times, 3 times I think today. So just keep that in mind that it's in this card, and that video is linked below. Let's see here. Let's look at this one next. This is the, I think it's called Best Thing. Maybe I don't have the, I don't think I have the product here. I don't think I have the product here. Some of them, I loaned some out, so let me see. I think it's called, hold on. This is from Alive, and I have a link to that video below. Let me just figure out what it's called. I think it's like Best Thing or something like that. Hold, please. Best Thing. Yep. There is a, I don't have the product with me, but there is a stamp set, a die set, and a coordinating stencil set called Best Thing. And I used it to create all of the leaves here, the leaf image, the bird, and the die set has that like lantern that you see there. And this one is actually a fun slider card. And up there, a gift card slides out. All right, so if you look below in the YouTube description for where it says videos, if you look at the one that says, this is not glued all the way. If you look at the one that says video Best Thing, you'll find the video for that. So this one I did a while back. I just wanted to, I found it in my stash. I hadn't sent it out yet. I might keep that little gift card. This actually, this little slider mechanism is also from Pinkfresh, but I don't think it's part of the clearance. So this lantern and the stamps on that are from the Best Thing. All right. Next, this one is from another live, and it's linked below. If you look for the video where it says video, all kinds of wonderful. Now these big flowers, I believe those are already discontinued, but you see these little bits that stick out? I call them like fillers that you can add in here and there, these little fillers. That's called all kinds of wonderful. And I just used them as fillers. And you can see this is a pop-up. Oh, I have flattened it. Okay, there we go. So it's a fun pop-up card. So the video for this is linked below, but what's on sale are those little fillers in there, which I find I use quite often. Was the Best Thing used in a Create and Connect class? It might have been. If Pinkfresh is here, you can tag them. Okay. Oh, the slider's on sale? Really? It might be.
Is that on the list?
No, it's not on the list. Okay. This one is, I don't know, some slider something. Let me see here. Oh, and this, oh, here's the all kinds of wonderful. That's what I used as filler back on this card. It's these stamps. There are sentiments in here. You can tell this gets used a lot. This says, you're all kinds of wonderful and your heart is so big. And the die set, it's one of those days. This pocket's torn on the side. The die set cuts out, you stamp all of these flowers at once and the die cuts them all out at once. And then there are dies for the sentiments and coordinating stencils. Yeah, no, the A2, that slider card die set is not on sale. It's a different slider. That's on sale. Side sliders on sale.
It's on the list.
Okay, then this one, what is this one called? Here it is. So this one has Lovely Blooms. So this is a stamp set, there's a die set, and there are coordinating stencils. What you do is you stamp this big image, stencil color this big image, and then cut them all out at once. And I use this one on this little heart here. So if you look at the, and this is a pop-up too, if you look in my description, if you see video Lovely Blooms, you'll see the video for this card. So I tried to organize that so you can find things if you're interested. Hi, Betsy. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. I mean, really, the best bet, I wanted to show you some examples just to let you know that I have content for a lot of these products. But really the best thing to do is right at the top of my supply list, it says all Pinkfresh sale. go look and just look at what appeals to you. And then you can come back and see if maybe I have videos for some of those. All right. Let's see, Mike, why don't you throw up some of the card examples? Okay. I don't care which one. Start with one. He's gonna, these are ones from my website. So I sent, oh, I already did that one. We did that one. Sorry, I found it. Okay, this card, I did not make that card. I need it to be very clear. I did not make that card. I got that from the Pinkfresh website. That's a cherry blossom set. And what's neat about that set is if you've ever, I'm not doing any of these today because I've done them before in lives, but Pinkfresh has a few products where you stencil and then you die cut and you get beautiful inked die cuts all the way to the edge. And that right there is the cherry blossom version that's on clearance. I don't have this product, otherwise I'd be using it today. So the cherry blossoms, that's one, and I think there's another example. Again, these are from Pinkfresh. There's the die set. So what happens is you use the stencils, and they have these little triangles to help you line things up. I might be able to demo something later with it. And then when you die cut it, you don't get that white trim. Okay, so that is the cherry blossom. And look at that example. That, again, is from Pinkfresh. Isn't that beautiful? That one is one that I will be buying. So anyway, that's the cherry blossom. What's next, Mike? Okay, that's mine. That has the lantern. What is that called? The lantern botanical, I think it's called. The lantern botanical. It has those little leafy images and the lantern in the set. And I have a link to that video below. Notice the frame on that. That is, I did using the Deco frame foil plate. Today you get the die for free. So you could see how you could create a frame with that Deco look and put whatever you want in the center. So that gives you some inspiration for that Deco frame die. That's free with any order today. The link to that video is below. Just look for where it says Video Botanical Lantern. All right, what's next? That one I found, you can skip that one. I found some of these in my stash. Okay, this one. This one uses, let's find it here. I have it. It uses the Making Things Happen stamp along with the coordinating die. So see that beautiful frame there? You can also see that happy vibes there in the center, that sentiment that I like so much. But I really like the frame on this one. Do you have another shot of that? Yeah, that was it from an easel card too. So there's a video below. Can you come back to me real quick, Mike? This is the Making Things Happen product. So there is this frame stamp, two nice sentiments. Then you have the options of the coordinating stencils to color it in, the coordinating press plate, and the dies. And the cool thing is the dies, you can cut the image out just the outside, or you can cut out the inside too and end up with just a frame. And I like that these are separated so you have an option how you do it. I think that's really cool. And then there's a die for the sentiment. So that one is the Make Things Happen, and there's a video linked below for that one. I really like the detail of this one, especially with the press plate. I just think it's beautiful. Brienne is working hard in there, linking to everything. You can see the detail in the flowers. I just think that's gorgeous. Okay, what's next, Mike?
Look,
I found that one, so you can skip it. If you like fancy folds, we'll be doing some today.
I think this is the last.
Oh, okay. So that one was done using two different die sets. One is called, let's see, one is called Sweet Blossoms, and one is called Stylish Florals. Let me see if I have the Stylish Florals here so I can explain it. I did a live, that's linked below, showing how I made that card. And that's actually a see-through card. But what's neat about it is those are the same kind of products like that cherry blossom that I showed you earlier. I can't find the product. I had it. Like I showed you the cherry blossom before, where you stencil cardstock with whatever colors you want. Then you lie the die on top and cut them, and it does all those details with no white trim. And I used 2 different sets like that in this card, and those are on sale. Those were really popular the first time I used them. Hey, Mike, you know that little table between the 2 chairs in front of the fireplace? Can you, there might be some products on it. Can you grab those? I'm going to see if I left it in the other room. Yeah, they're great sales, but you know, very generous. Hold on, he's looking for something. Stamp pockets. The ones that I've been using for years are from Avery L, but they sadly just went out of business. So Simon Says Stamp has some too. Yeah, that's what I needed. Okay, so you can come back here. I think it's here. Oh, here, now I'm finding them. Yeah. Okay, there's that Lantern Botanical that's on sale. There's a foil plate for it too. Anyway, this Stylized Florals. I'm going to show you that the card that I just showed you. Use this, and there are 3 different sets like this on sale: Stylized Floral, Sweet Blossoms, and Cherry Blossoms. What you do is you ink on cardstock these flowers. They look kind of big and clunky, but then once you've inked them, you lay this on top, and you line up the triangle in the die with the triangle that you stencil, and it cuts them all out with beautiful detail with no white trim. Okay, so like here, see how that's real thin, like stem there? You're gonna line it up over your stenciling and you won't have any white trim. Okay, so this is the Stylized Floral. I can demo these at the end if we have time, if you remind me. But again, I did a video using these, and that's linked below. These are really popular, something unique that Pinkfresh does, where you're able to do the inking before you die cut. Because a lot of times, like if you wanted to ink these, you know, when you rub your brush on it, they kind of get crinkly. So doing the inking first, then the die cutting really works well. Robin, try Pretty Pink Posh or Simon Says Stamp for those. Okay, do you have more, Mike?
I don't think so.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, then let's create. I want to make something. Anything else?
So the best, right?
I think so. What was it?
The bird.
Yeah, yes, I did. All right, we're going to start with this one. I've never used this set before that I can remember, and we're going to do a basic partial die cutting technique with this. I have variations of the technique in all of my cards today, and I think I've come up with easier ways to do it over the years, so I'm excited to share those with you today. Okay, so this right here is, just looking, seeing if I have to catch anything. This right here is Heart of Gold. So there is a stamp set with sentiments. There's a coordinating die set that will cut out the sentiments and the large image. And then there are coordinating stencils to color in the image. All right. I don't have anything using the tulips. I don't think so. I have used Distress Oxide inks, and I have videos. If you search on my channel on oxide, you'll find some. You can use oxide ink on a press plate. Works great. Okay, so this is the card we're going to do. So there's a partial die cutting technique that allows this image to hang off the edge and show this fun texture on the inside. So this is a pretty simple partial die cutting technique that can be done with a lot of different images, and I thought it worked really well with this particular one. So the cool thing about it is this is continuous here. It's not like a die cut stuck on it. This is all smooth and it's continuous. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to let you choose what color I do. I'm going to do the lemons yellow. What color should I do with it? Here, this is Spellbinder's Waterfall with Pinkfresh Waterfall ink. So you guys can give me a vote. Mike, let's do a poll where people can vote. Should I do this blue? Should I do purple? Or like a coral color? Those are the 3 options. And you guys can tell me which you want me to do. So there's a poll at the top. You can tell me what colors. So it'll be yellow with whatever color you vote for. Now, while you're voting, I did do a little bit off screen to save time. I stamped this image right at the top of a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch white note card, okay? The embossing folder, that's not an embossing folder. I'll show you what it is in a moment. And I stamped a sentiment on there. Oh dear, what stamp set is that from? Hold on. This is what I do. I really like Pinkfresh sentiments because they're unique. Like a lot of different styles, but I don't know where it came from. What's it say again? Oh, you make me smile. I have to find which stamp set that is from. That is from, a sentiment on here is from this garden tapestry, which is also on sale. So I just stamped those with black ink on the front of a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch note card just to save some time. All right, is there a poll at the top, Mike?
Coral.
Coral is the winner. Coral is the winner. Okay. Okay, we can do it. All right, let's do the partial die cutting. Now, partial die cutting is something where it's exactly what it sounds like, and I've done many videos on it, where you're not cutting the entire die. And it allows you to get like a continuous look or a shaped edge that I think is fun and different and looks really cool in person. So I have my note card here where I stamped this image, and I'm going to open it up and lay it down onto my cutting plate. Now you could do this with whatever die cut machine you have. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the edge is beveled. It doesn't matter. This should work absolutely fine for you. All right, so I will take the die. Let me turn this around. I'll do it this way. I'm going to take the die and line it up with the image. Okay, so it'll line up with that image nicely. And let me put some tape on it. I don't want it to move. Is Scattered Confetti Kathleen from Pinkfresh? Is that you, Kathleen? Kathleen and Jody are like new to Pinkfresh. They've been there, I don't know, several months, but man, are they great. They're wonderful. Great team. Okay, now, I don't want all of this to cut. I only want this edge here to cut, like in our example. So I want it to kind of stop cutting about halfway through the bird. So I will take I have this all on my card. One of the things I like to do is leave the crease hanging off the cutting plate so it doesn't get a mark. Oh good, Kathleen's here. So I just have that lined up there, but that's really not that important. What's important is I take this plate and put it where I want the die cutting to stop. So about halfway through the bird. So what happens is anything under here will cut. Anything out here won't cut because there's no plate on it. All right, so it'll cut just this area here. So I'm going to hold the plates like this and actually feed this through my die cut machine. All right, and that will partially cut that image. So I'm using my Empress here, which is off screen, but you saw how the cutting plates were. And now you can see only that side cut. Everything else is still connected. All right. So see how that's cut there? Now I need to cut that part away. There are a few ways to do this. If you have a trimmer that has a drop blade, you could use that, but I know not many people have that. I am going to use a T-ruler. T-rulers really aren't that great to cut against. They're really not supposed to be cut against because they're plastic, but it works just fine for me. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm cutting on my magnetic mat for my die cut machine. If you have a cutting pad, that works too. I'm going to take the top of my card and line it up with the edge of my mat. All right. So see how it's lined up there? Now, the T-ruler I can put, and I hook it on that top, and I know that this will be a straight edge to cut against. Another thing you could do is just like draw a pencil line on it and then cut along the pencil line. But I find it easiest to just cut along this edge here. So I'm moving my T-ruler so that this edge of the T-ruler lines up with where the die cutting stopped. So the die cutting stops about halfway through the bird. So I'll line it up with where the die cutting stops. And I'm going to cut here, but I'm not going to cut through my image. I'm going to cut around my image. I don't want to cut my bird in half. So down here below my image, I'm going to go from where the die cutting stopped all the way down, and I'm pressing this down. My X-Acto knife is pretty dull, so I have to cut a few times. Then if there's anything in here, there's a little bit here that I'm going to go ahead and cut, and I'm just cutting with my blade along this edge, and then up here at the top, right down to the cutting edge. And I don't know if I'm reaching the cutting edge exactly, but I'll be able to finish it with my scissors. So now this will break away. Oh, there's a little piece that I didn't see that I need to cut. So I'll line it back up with the top of the plate, and I'll go right here. It's right there. So I'm cutting around my image, basically connecting the areas where the die cutting starts and stops. There we go. And then there's some little bits here that popped out the center. Let me get those out. Yeah, I know. I just bought a new set of craft knives. I don't know where they are. They came in the mail yesterday, but they're somewhere upstairs. No, I'm fine. So let me just look. There's a little rough edge right here, but I'll just take my scissors and just kind of snip that. There we go. So now this is a continuous piece. Now you could have just cut the edge, stamped and done a die cut and glued it on top, but I like how it's smooth and then just hanging off. Does that make sense? So that's one way to do partial die cutting. I'm going to show you lots of different things too. Yes, Tim Holtz does have a metal ruler that would work great. I was just doing the trick with the T-ruler, and it's fine. But you definitely could use a metal ruler like you're supposed to. All right, so let me finish this one off. I have another technique to show you on it. But let's do some inking, and I can answer some questions while I do so. Okay, so now this is, again, Heart of Gold. I really like this image. And let's start with the lemons. I'm going to line up my lemons, and the bird's there too. So I'll do two different colors. Now, notice how my stenciling's wonky here. I'm going to put little strips of cardstock up here so I know that every time I line up my stencil in that little nook here, this little corner, and they'll all line up. All right. So the discount code should work. If you have in your cart any clearance products that are 50% off, you'll get an additional 10% off. But it's not all of our regular price products. It's just the clearance. If you're still having trouble, tag Pinkfresh, and they'll be able to help you. All right, I have my magic brush. This is the Pinkfresh magic brush. That's what I call them. They're actually called 1-inch blending brushes from Pinkfresh, and I'm obsessed with them. No, there is no mark in the paper. I can show it to you again. It's very smooth. All right, I'm using Lemon Whip. Just put a light to medium application of Lemon Whip over this. And then I think I'll come in with a smaller brush and do like a heavier bit at the top. I don't know, because I can. Lemon Whip is the perfect yellow. It's the perfect, happy, sunshiny yellow. All right, so that is the lemon. Oh, good. The people are saying the link works, so that's good. All right, now the bird. We said coral, right? All right, so let's see. Let's go with coral reef. There are two different coral-y kind of collections. Let me show you them, because I love Pinkfresh inks. So these are different. I'm not sure which I'm going to use, but I'm going to show you them. So this is Cherry Blossom. This is like a muted coral color, like a peachy kind of. So that is Cherry Blossom. This is a little bit darker. That's the color I love so much. That is Peony. Then Begonia is another favorite. And see how this goes like a little bit dull, kind of muted, and that's Mulberry Bush. So those are a version of corals that you can do. Those will soften a little bit. For a brighter coral collection, this is one of my longtime favorites. That's Coral Reef, Passion Fruit. So these more are like light red to dark red. Candy Apple, and Cherry Blossom. So I just wanted to show you those. I think I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do the redder ones. Okay, but I wanted to show you because these are really unique, and I've used them a lot in videos, but I think I might use them later. Oh shoot, I just put them all in the wrong spot. Hang on. I've discovered if I don't put my inks away as I go, the world somewhat falls apart. Okay, so let's do coral reef for the bird. I'm gonna go a little bit heavier towards the bottom and go really light towards the top. So he's almost white at the top of his head. Yeah, coral reef is beautiful. It works really well with waterfall, which is this color, this blue color. All right, so that's the first stencil. Let me wipe that off. Yeah, Pinkfresh inks are good. Are all of the event exclusive supplies listed, include in the $275 for the, Daisy, or Pink,
Supplies included in that price. With the Pinkfresh.
Yeah, you get the products. I don't think you get the inks. I'm not sure. Somebody from Pinkfresh is here. They can answer that. All right. So now let's do, I'm doing these out of order. It's okay. Well, here's stencil 2. And I put it into that nook that I created there. See? And this one's easy to line up. See how it lines up with the leaves? But it helps to have that nook there. That will help me to get it just right. Now, first we have the wing. I'm going to do this one in the passion fruit, which is a little bit darker, and kind of fade that up. Now we can do, I'm going to cover that guy up and do green for all of the leaves. All right. You do not get inks, right? You get for the Pinkfresh events, you get like a bunch of great, unique stencils, dyes, things like that, stamps, stuff like that. But hold on, I'm trying to put stuff away here. You do not get the inks. You can use whatever inks you have at home. It's always nice because you can choose whatever color palette you want then. Okay, so this is Fresh Pear. I wanted like a light green, and I'm just doing a quick inking over this. I wanted these to be kind of light to start with. We'll come in with a bit more in a second. Okay, so I did some light Fresh Pear. Then I'll come in with a bit darker color. So Brian just put a link to the live supply list. If you want to click that, it'll open up to a new page. Right at the top, it tells you about all the information to save. And then below that are thumbnail pictures of all the things I'm using. This one is called the Heart of Gold, and I really like it. I'm surprised I hadn't used it before. Okay, so I did a little grassy knoll on there too. There we go. I love it. Okay, now this one does, I'll put that in the little nook. This does a little bit of shading on those leaves and on our bird. So let's get candy apple here. Do a little candy apple. Aren't the lemons cute? I guess you could make them limes too. All right. Put some of these away. Hold on. Oh, there's no label on that one. That's weird. Let's go dark. We'll go with olive for the leaves. And I'm not going super heavy over this, just a little bit. Just to get a little bit of that contrast in there, but not make it too bold. There we go. And then we have some little highlights on the lemons. Wait, drink. Highlights on the lemons. I just put in that nook and I know it's in the right spot. So the highlights you could do white. I'm going to just go darker yellow. All right, darker yellow. Let's do marigold. And you could do some really cool blending with these. I'm just doing this quickly. All right, now this one is the last one. And this will give you, like, these flowers are to stay white. I'm leaving the flowers white and adding just a little bit of yellow to the centers. So there's that little pop of yellow. So I'm just doing a light amount of this marigold. You could do a different color if you wanted. You can do the beak yellow, and then last thing is our bird feather tail thingy. All right, there we go. So there we have, look at that. Isn't that cute? So you can see the two different color versions here. And I can save my little tick marks for later. Are there replays? On the replay, are brands links found in the comment section? I don't know. I think you can look at the chat and replay. Does anybody know? I never look, so I have no idea. Hopefully somebody here will know. All right, let me clean these up. And then I will show you how I did that texture on the inside. Yeah, Pinkfresh does have beautiful inks. They have something really exciting coming next week too. Hoping that I have a chance to play with it. Again, so this is Heart of Gold. Nice, unique set. You could cut that bird off too and use it without the bird or use the bird on something else. All right, Heart of Gold. Now for the inside. Let me go find a piece of cardstock that will match this. I could ink something up, but I think I'm gonna just grab a piece over here. Hold on. I think a lighter color might be good here. Un momento. Sorry. Let's go with watermelon from, yeah, we'll do watermelon from Concord and Ninth. Okay. Thank you, Jody and Kathleen, for helping with the comments, answering questions. Okay, so this is a strip that I just cut. It's 5.5 by like 1 3/4. It's enough to cover that area in the back, all right? So I'm going to use that. I told you I was going to be using this a lot today. This is the Dotted Petals press plate. And I've used this a lot in videos. It's all linked below to those videos. You can use this in your Better Press system. You can use it to foil, okay? You can also use it to make an impression. I'm going to demonstrate the Better Press later. I'm not doing the foiling today, but now we're going to make an impression. So this is to show you can use a press plate with your die cut machine. The sentiment was from the Garden Tapestry set. I have my Spellbinders Platinum. Whatever machine you have should come with or have available for sale a flexible embossing mat. If you watch my videos, you've seen me use one of these a million times. And you can do this with whatever die cut machine you have. You just follow their instructions to make an impression with a die, but instead I'm using a press plate. So I'm going to take this and put it right onto my onto the press plate, like right there. Okay? Then I'll place that onto that flexible mat. I should probably have taped it, but that's okay. And I follow the sandwich that they say to make an impression with the die, but I'm doing it with a press plate. So if you see a beautiful press plate that you like, you can use it without a Better Press system. So yes, you can use the plate without the Better Press. The technique I just showed you, you can do with a die too. Watch this, or a foil plate. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that cool? A lot more detail than you would get with embossing folder, okay? And you will see the detail you get with it with Better Press later in this video, in this live, okay? For this card, I just did the impression. Now you could have put ink on that before doing that process and it would leave some ink on the inside, but I wanted to keep it just as is. Now, let me glue this down. Hold, please. Got to find some glue here. Yeah, I'm always blown away. Here's the thing. Press plates. Let me tell you about press plates. I've said this in videos before. Brian has, Mike, we have to consolidate. I have 2 press plate playlists. We have to consolidate.
Okay.
Anyway, I've used them many times in videos, but here's the thing. I like press plates mostly for 3 things. One is if you use it with a better press and ink, you get a detail image that is unlike what you can get with stamps. Such detail. And it's perfect every time. You don't have to do it multiple times like you do with the stamp. The other thing I like about them is what I just showed you, making an impression like this. And then the third thing that I like about them is using them with like the glimmer foil machine. There we go. Okay, now I want a little definition there and I want to pull out that dark red, but I don't want to go fish for some dark red cardstock. So instead, I'm going to make my own somewhat quickly. All right, so I think I'll use passion fruit. Let's see if that works. I'm just going to rub that right on it. Yeah, that'll be good. Right onto this. I could have started with white cardstock, but I had this here. And now I'll have a red that will match what's on my birdie. I do have playlists. I do. And I mess them up a lot. And I forget to add them. I'm not good about that. What I need to do is give Brienne my account and just let her go to town because she's good at it. You love when I say hold please? Uh-oh. There's fewer than 100 dotted petal press plates in stock. Don't do that. Dang it. I'm going to use it a few times today. Okay, so now this, I'm going to just use tape runner to save time. Put tape on the back of this. Okay, I think this one's going to be empty soon. And then this I will put inside so it just peeks out a little bit. See how it peeks out a little bit from in the front? Isn't that cool? And then it looks nice on the inside too. So you could stamp a sentiment there if you wanted to on the inside. Pinkfresh inks are felt. They're firm. So there we go. Okay. So these 2 are the same. On this one, I used waterfall cardstock from Spellbinders, and I used waterfall ink from Pinkfresh. They happen to match perfectly. Oh, I need gems. Pinkfresh also has some of my favorite gems. Oh no, I think the ones I want to use are upstairs. I don't think that color would look good. We'll just try this. So these are the ruby. They're gems. Well, some of the gems, they have different types, but one that I really like is I've talked about them in videos many times. These are the glitter drops from Pinkfresh. Okay, so they are like a clear gemstone, like with the facets, but then also have glitter inside. And they have them in lots of different colors. Here I'm using the ruby, and I think that will really make that red, pull all that red together, like that corally red color. Add those. Yeah, see how that pulls it all together more? Sorry, my head's in the way. You're partial to the waterfall. Here's the thing. That's what, I get it. That's my favorite color, so I'm partial to it also. But I love coral and pool together. Sorry, my head's in the way. Are you counting my grays? Okay, there we go. See how that pulls that red in better? There we go. So that is Heart of Gold, the dotted petal press plate, and the sentiment is from Garden Tapestry. All of those things are 50% off right now, and you get the additional 10% off. And you might have these. Again, these are old products. You might have these in your stash, and now you have more ideas. Excuse my ugly readers, the cheap ones from Amazon. Also, think about it. Any large image that you have, you can do this with the partial die cutting. And it gives you a really unique edge. And this is different than what you can buy store-bought. Now, big thing here that I recommend. Use a heavyweight cardstock here because you don't want this to be too flimsy. If you use a flimsy cardstock, this will be a little too thin. But I never recommend a thin cardstock or lightweight cardstock with card bases anyways. Okay, I'm curious. Which do you like better? Mike, can you put waterfall or do blue and coral? I'm just curious which you like better, blue or coral. Hi, Marianne in Westchester. Brian, or Betsy Green, who's here, is from Westchester too.
Which do you like better?
Hi, Erica. It's good to see you. Yeah, which do you like better, the blue or the coral? I'm just curious. Let's see. I'm gonna do, how am I doing on time? I'm gonna do another simple partial die cutting one, super simple. Okay, so you can vote at the top on which color you like better. And while you're voting, I'm gonna show you, this is a very quick and simple one, all right? Just to show you, you can do partial die cutting. This is for like a fun edge. Here it's just for a fun element on a card. So I did partial die cutting so that this is all continuous here. It's easy to do. It also is good because it's less dimension. You could have stamped and die cut that teapot and put it on top, but it's less layers this way. I think it just looks really cool. So I wanted to do this quick one because I needed a Get Well card for Christina. So I thought I'd go ahead and show you. All right, let's see. Most people say blue. 50% say blue. Good. Okay, now we need to vote on a color to do here. I'm not going to do the same color combo because I can tell you what this is. Should I use here, I'm going to do this card, but this time should I do yellows, blues, or purples? So you can vote. If I do when I do this card, should I do yellows, blues, or purples? The bottles that I just showed you, they'll be on my crafty gift guide. I'll be showing you that soon. It'll be coming out very soon. Is who feeling better, Erica?
Probably Christina.
Oh, Christina. Yes, Christina is feeling better, but she's just wiped. She is just wiped. Very, very tired. Okay. Okay, so you can vote for what color I redo this in, but let me show you the products and I'll tell you what colors I did use here, okay? So this is the Get Well Soon stamp set, and there are coordinating dies and coordinating stencils. And the nice thing is this is one big image. You stamp that, then you color it in with the stencils, and then you use the one die that cuts them all out perfectly. But I'm gonna change it up today to do that partial die cutting. Okay, yeah, Christina's good. And we're actually going on a trip together next week. And I think to get, so she doesn't overdo it, I'm gonna push her around in a wheelchair.
Well, flashbacks to...
All right, purples. Okay, we're doing purples. Now I will tell you the colors I did here. This background is Wild Berry from Concord and Ninth. The colors I did here are Key Lime for the green from Pinkfresh. This is Sparkling Rose, the lighter pink, and, or no, Bubblegum. No, Sparkling Rose. And then this darker is Raspberry. The darker pink is Raspberry, I believe. Raspberry Bliss. But we're doing purples here. Ooh. Now Pinkfresh has two different purple collections. So I'm gonna just swatch them out to show you them and I'll choose one. I don't know which yet. So this set is called Get Well Soon. And the sentiments are nice. The one says, warmest wishes for a speedy recovery, and the other says, take time to rest and allow yourself to heal, and then take extra good care. Christina got like a food thing in Bulgaria or something. But she's doing better. She talked about it in her stories, so if you're interested, you can go listen to those. Okay, so there are two different, hang on. Just one moment. One moment. Oh. Okay. There are two different purple collections. This is Soft Lilac. This first collection is a little more pinkish purple. And these two together I love. Candy Violet is one of my favorite colors. So Soft Lilac, Candy Violet, and then there's Lavender, These are like brighter, more cheerful, and Regal Kiss. Now these are like more bluish purple, like periwinklish. That's this one is Wisteria, Hydrangea. Look at that, that's beautiful. And Opalins. Okay, I think I'm going to do these two. So I will keep out those two. Those are the ones I want to do. Aren't those colors pretty? Okay, so we have Soft Lilac and Candy Apple, or Candy Violet that I'm using. Let me put these away so I can find them later. Okay. This is going to end up being kind of similar to this, a little more purple, but this is what we're going for. So let me tell you what I did off screen. I took this large image. See, it's got all of them connected. And I stamped it here on this paper by just not inking these bottom images. So I end up with just those two inked and stamped onto a panel, white cardstock panel, okay? So I didn't stamp those other images. I could have, but I want this plain down here so that I just masked it off and stamped it. Easy to do. But now we need to color these guys. This won't take long. These stencils are really easy to do. First of all, we have the first stencil, which does some of the teapot. You can see it would color in those other images if I would have stamped them. I don't want those to be colored, so I'm going to mask them off with just Post-it notes. They shut down Animal Kingdom, I guess, from the animals, huh? Okay, so let's do on this one the Soft Lilac. All right, and I'll just put this kind of medium to light out at the edge to give that kind of highlighted look. You could put a little bit of light gray in the steam. I did that on my card example, but I'm going to leave it white here. I might put like some sparkle on it later. Okay, so there is some Soft Lilac. On my card example, see I did a little bit of gray on the bottom, some Misty Coast, and I didn't like that. I think it's better just left white or just add sparkle. So I could ink that if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna. All right, the next one here, we line up, and this does the little flowers and other details on the pot. And this one I will do, let's do the Soft Lilac, and we'll do a little bit of the darker at the center of the flowers. So this is the Soft Lilac. Then I'll come in with tiny brush here and do some of the Candy Violet at the center. I should have done fall colors. That would have been a good option, right? But listen, it's dreary here today. We're brightening things up. So I'm just doing a little bit of that darker Candy Violet on that. Ah, that's cute. Now I could have also like stamped and die cut a little teacup to go next to it, to like layer on it, or a little lemon. I could layer those there, but I wanted this to be kind of one layer-ish. Okay, next is the leaves. And we'll do that quickly because, you know, when the images are this small, I don't think you really need to do anything fancy. Hold on there, grassy now. But you can. You could also just use markers to color these if you wanted. Whatever floats your boat. All right, so there we have our image. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. Okay. And of course, there are other stencils that color the other parts, but I'm not doing those today. You need the lemon, but you didn't know you needed it until I used it. Well, not my fault. I didn't design the stuff. They designed the stuff. You can get mad at them. All right, time for some partial die cutting. All right, so this is just a panel, A2, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. All right, so I only want the top to cut. So yeah, we'll just do it this way. So I'm gonna put this down here, line up the die. Okay, so I'm lining it up. I don't want this all to cut down here. I just want the top half of the teapot and all the steam to cut. So I put my plate on here and I stop it about halfway down. So only what's here will cut everything hanging out will not cut, okay? So from here up will cut, anything hanging out won't cut. All right, so I'll run that through. So let me put that down. I'll just run it through my die cut machine. You could do this with whatever die cut machine you have. So basically you're just shifting your top cutting plate. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here. All right, so let's see. So of course this completely cut, and now half of the teapot is cut, okay? So let's do that same trick with the cutting pad and my tea roller. So I'm gonna put the edge along the top, and I'm gonna line up this edge of the tea roller, connecting like all the places where the die cutting stop. Remember the die cutting stop about halfway down the teapot? So I'm lining it up so the die cutting stopped right there, and I'm going to take my craft knife and cut from that to the edge of the panel, okay? And then from here to the edge of the panel. So from here to where the die cutting stopped. You could also have just done that with scissors too, if you can cut straight with scissors, and then this just pops out. And so see how it's a continuous piece now. So you could make this at the top of a card, so it's hanging off the top of a card. So many things that you can do with that. And if you go to my YouTube channel and search on partial, the word partial, you'll find lots of techniques on my channel. The sun is trying to come out, is it? I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. So on this one, I did warmest wishes for a speedy recovery. So on this one, I'll do take time to rest and allow yourself to heal. I'll just put it right next to it, and we'll stamp that with black. So now I have two cards. And I'll show you the background on this one in just a moment, the background technique in just a moment. All right, there we go. Lovely. All right. Isn't the teapot cute? Yeah, you could do the steam and vellum. That would be cute. You're right, Vicki. Good to see you. I hope your moving is going wonderfully, because that sounds like a lot of fun. All right, now I want to do the background. Let me go find a piece of cardstock that will look good with it. Oh, this piece on the floor looks good with it. And this container on the floor, I don't know what color it is though. I don't know where this is from. I have a bunch of pre-cut cardstock on the floor, and it just happened to match in a container on the floor, and it matches, so I'm going with it. So I just picked a color cardstock that matched. Now on this one, I used one of my all-time favorite Pinkfresh press plates, the Stippled Plaid. I did a live with this where I used it so many times, and I used it in a video too. I love this pattern because it works with everything. For this background, I used it with the embossing mat, like I just showed you. Remember how I just showed you how to do it on that coral strip using the embossing mat? That's how I did this one. Now on this one, I think I'll just use it as a press plate. So you have variety, okay? So this is the Get Well Soon set. It's 50% off, and this is also 50% off. But let's use it as a traditional press plate on this background. So let me get my Better Press. My Better Press is so loved. It's so dirty. Okay, so I'll put that right at the center. And then this, I'm just gonna put a little bit of tape on the back of it and put that right at the center of the plate. And let's ink that up. Get my die cut machine out. Now the Better Press system you can use with your Spellbinders Platinum. You can use it with your Gina K Intracut. You can use it with your Big Shot. So got that in there. Let's get, let's do the Candy Violet. So it's kind of a tone-on-tone look, okay? So I'm just taking the Candy Violet and just lightly rubbing it over the raised area. And you can also do a little tapping. But you'll see that this will give a perfect crisp image right away. Oh, Stippled Plaid is sold out. Darn. I love it. Darn. Yeah, it does give a similar look to the Spellbinder's tufted embossing folder. Okay, so let's see. See that? The detail of that? You don't get that with a stamp. Isn't that pretty? But what's cool is, look how different the results are with the same plate. This one was running it through with an embossing mat. This one is using the Better Press. So you get a lot of detail with this. How did I prop up my die cut machine so that I can use that longer? So I'll tell you, I'll answer that. So this is the, it's called My Turn. It's a longer handle that you can put on your Spellbinder's Platinum, which makes it easier to crank. I love it. But the problem is you need to prop up your machine because the handle's longer. I just taped some containers on the bottom. It's not the best thing. I just did that today so I could bring it in the camera. I'm going to find something better and I'll let you know when I find it. It is janky, but it worked. It worked, just not great. Okay, so now this I will just glue onto the bottom. Easy peasy. I could use like foam tape under it if I wanted to. And then this gets glued right above it. Coming out. Very easy. And I can just add that to a card base. All right. No, sorry. I've never had problems with the any snagging. Nope. All right, so that's the Get Well. So that's a simple partial die cutting technique. So you can do that with a variety of stamps and dies. And the cool thing about this one is, remember, I did partial die cutting, so I didn't cut all the bottom stuff. I only did the top, and I could do that little edge. A monitor riser works good. I need something that stays stuck to it for videos, but I'll let you guys know what I find. All right, I'm losing dies here. Hang on. So that is the Get Well Soon set. Hold, please. Okay. So I will move those. That just needs to get glued to a card base and it's done. All right, let's do, oh, this one I need my foil machine warmed up. So let me get this warmed up and we'll just talk while it's warming. Okay. I'm going to do glimmer foil on this next card for my background. However, if you do not have a foil machine, never fear. They also have a stamp available, so you could do the stamp instead of the foiling. So this card, let me show you. This technique actually lets you make 2 cards. And these have see-through bottom right there, and it allows you to look onto the inside. And you can see I did very subtle, that dotted petals with the Better Press in the background. But this bottom portion, you can see through, okay? And then it also will make a second one, all right? So this is using kind of a faux partial die cutting technique. And this works great with a lot of different background dies, but I thought it worked really well with this particular product that I'm gonna show you. So this one is the Pretty Blossoms. So there are different options. There is a background stamp. There's also a foil plate. Now, I'm going to use a foil plate today just because I can, but remember, if you don't have a foil machine, you could just instead use the stamp. All right, they both line up together. Then there are coloring stencils that work with either, and there's a die that cuts out the panel either way you do it, okay? So, Mike, do you know why some people don't see the poll? It might be because you're not watching it live and it's gone already. I don't know. I do believe also you can use these stencils alone too. You could use the stencils without it, but I do like the outline on it. Okay. You use an ATG tape runner. Good for you. You must have big muscles. Those things are huge. I can't do it. I recommend Altenew tape runner. I think it works really well. Never gets stuck. That's what this is. Glue tape. And I bet money they'll have a good deal on it around Black Friday. Okay, so let's see. Is this gonna, oof. Is it acting up? It's not getting ready here. I'll give that a moment. If it's not gonna get ready, I might switch to the stamp. I think I bent one of the prongs earlier. Maybe not. Maybe it just needs another minute. I'll give it another minute. The sentiments on here, I'll talk about the sentiments. I have 2 different sentiments here. Let's see where those are from, because I know somebody will ask. What are they? Thank you and kindness. Hold, please. I should have had these out. I don't see them. Mike, can you figure out where those sentiments are from? Yeah, they're in the supply list, but I can't find them in my stash here. Oh, here's one.
Happy vibes again.
No, this is the Pure Joy. This one was really popular. I'm not using it today, but it has this little floral circle with a bird in it, and the die cuts them out so you can use them like scattered on your card, or you can just cut the whole thing in that circle. And there is a press plate, there's dies, there's stencils, and stamps. All right, but I use the You Glow with Kindness on this one. I'm not sure, my heart is still smiling, thank you. I'm not sure what that's from. I can't find it. All right, my glimmer machine is not, it's not participating. Let's give it a try anyways. It's not saying platform ready, but I'm gonna do it anyways. And let's just hope for the best. So this is the foil plate for Pretty Blossoms. We need some foil. I'm using the Aura foil. It's a gold iridescent that I just love. This and the silver version, which is called Prism, are my favorite to foil with because they foil beautifully. So I'm laying that down pretty side down onto the foil plate. And then I'll take a piece of white cardstock and lay it on top. And then it's not participating, no it's not. I'll lay it right on top. I should have created like a little hinge, but it's there now. And then you put the 2 plates on top that come with the glimmer. And then you press the timer button, but mine's not gonna do it. I'm just gonna give it a couple minutes. I'm just looking. Oh, is it from the Humbled and Grateful set? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm going to use that one next. The Humbled and Grateful. Here it is. Yes, it is. The Humbled and Grateful. Thank you, Pinkfresh. Thank you, Jody. My heart is still smiling. Thank you. Is from this Humbled and Grateful. Now it's saying it's ready. Set, which I'll be using next. All right. So this is the Pretty Blossoms. I'm doing the foiling. But if you don't have a foil machine, you could instead use the stamp. All right. I haven't done foiling in a while. I'm waiting for this to stop flashing. If you're considering a glimmer foil machine, they might, Spellbinders may have like a deal around Black Friday. I'm not sure. Good choice, Michelle. You'll like the Platinum. The Platinum is a great machine. You can also do the Glimmer foil machine and the Better Press on the Gina K Intricut, which is a fabulous machine too. I really like her machine because you adjust the dials on the side instead of having to deal with a bunch of plates. Okay, Deb asked, do you always put your plates on top while it's heating up and not after? I think the instructions say to not put the plates on until the light stops flashing. I put mine on during it. I don't know. They seem to work. All right, so I'll pull this out and now run this through my Platinum 6. The Glimmer machine works with the Platinum 6. It also works with the Gina K Intricut. All right, so I'm going to work that through. Now, if you did get this foil plate, but don't have a foil machine, you can always make an impression with a foil plate like I did earlier with the press plate. Okay, so now let's take this off. There we go. Look at that perfect. Look at that. The detail. The detail. This is Neenah Classic Cross Solar White, 110 pound. Find it works just fine. I am going to show you something. This is the only thing I'm using today as far as Pinkfresh products that's not on sale. And it's sold out right now, but they will be getting more in. I just want to demonstrate it because we have this leftover foil, okay? This is the Pinkfresh solid plate. It is a solid foil plate. And what you can do is take your leftover foil, lay it down, put a piece of cardstock on it. I'm not going to do it now just to save time, but I'll show you what the result is. And you do the exact same process. Push the button, run it through your die cut machine, and you end up with the reverse, with the leftover foil. Isn't that gorgeous? So you don't have to let that foil go to waste. And that is with that Pinkfresh solid foil plate. It's sold out right now. I have it linked below, but if you foil, you need this plate. So maybe they have a notify me. I don't know, but it allows you to use all that leftover foil that normally you would throw away. It's the reverse. So you can see how it's just the reverse of the other. All right, let's stencil. I'm blabbing too much. I always blab too much. Sorry. Yeah, it is yes, I agree. Pinkfresh. Whoever's here from Pinkfresh, or who's still here. Jody, are you still here? I'm curious. Do you have a notification button? Cami? Are you still here? Do you mind asking Mike to come down here? I need his help. He keeps running away from me, and I need help. Okay, so I'm lining up the first stencil on here. This is the leaves. Okay, hold on. I got to check some things. Lila just got home from school and she's trying to plan a play date, and I am the go-between. Okay, we're going to do a poll. Okay, so a poll. Should I do these pinks and oranges, or do you want me to do blues and purples? So Mike's doing a poll. You can decide if I do it like I did here or blues and purples. Thank you, Mike.
Yep.
You can't run away from me. You know I'm useless.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Is Lila here?
I don't see anybody.
Okay. Wonderful. I'm always that go-between. I have to say, I am looking forward to the day that I'm not. Like when they can do their planning. Okay, so I'm going for unique greens here. This is the limoncello and the bay leaf. It's more of like a yellowy green, and I just think it's fun and unique. If your foil plate, that solid foil plate, doesn't want to foil well, what I recommend doing is set it up like I showed you, but then when it says it's ready to run through, the light stops flashing, let it sit there longer. Let it sit there extra long, just getting warmer and warmer, and then run it through, and that should help. If that doesn't do it, try adding a cardstock shim in the sandwich for a little more pressure. Another thing you can do is make sure you use a really smooth cardstock like Hammermill or the Spellbinders Glimmer cardstock. It's just, those are just some things, but you saw that mine foiled well. Always just try a little more heat, a little more pressure. Not much more pressure, but.
Right, so
what do we have?
Blues and purples.
Again?
I voted oranges and pinks just because I'd be lighter.
Okay, well, the people have spoken.
Yeah, by a lot.
By a lot?
80%.
Oh, wow, okay. Well, I have this one. I can tell you the colors I used for it. All right, look at that. Isn't that a nice alternative to like normal green? Does that make sense? Okay, now this stencil will do like the bits, the stems and the details. So I'll just do this Spanish moss again. This will be kind of subtle on the details because I used it already, but whatever. Okay, there we go. Ooh, up here too. I'm really liking that color. I really like that. I really like that color family. Okay, so now flowers. I'm gonna make things complicated, aren't I? By doing multiple colors. Oh, I know, it's mind-blowing. Let's do the bluish purples, and then we'll do some bright blues. No, I know what I'm gonna do. This was a color palette. Let me tell you about the color palette. Hold on, hold please. I'm gonna go buy a color palette. Oh shoot, I'm not gonna find it. It was sitting out here. There was a color palette I picked in one of my lives from the Color Cube. And I had it sitting out, and now I don't see it. Yeah, but I had the cardstock already picked. Oh, here it is. So remember the color cubes I showed you in a live recently? I'll show you them here. Can you add color cubes to the link? These are the color cubes. This is a new version. I'm not going to go into it right now. This will be on my crafty gift guide. But the new and improved color cubes that have lots of color combos, and this new and improved makes it really easy to, they're categorized. It's just a lot of great improvements. And in my live the other day when I talked about these, I pulled out a card that inspired this color combination. And that's what I'm going to do here. So more of these like tealish blues and purplish or bluish purples. And that's what I'm going to use here. So that was that. What made me think of it when I chose that. Anyway, I'm blabbing. We're going to have to do some masking. Because these flowers, you could do all the flowers the same color. Yeah, the color cubes are great. I just got I had only bought, because I was confused, I had only bought the volume 3 and 4, and I had to go back and buy volume 1, the new volume 1 and 2. I'll talk about all these in a live soon, but I just got the volume 1 and 2 now. All right, so I did wisteria there. I'm doing super fast coloring. I don't need to make it too complicated. Do some wisteria here. Now normally I would have done silver foil with this color palette, but that's okay. Yeah, they're great. I will be using the color cubes a lot in my Black Friday live and Small Business Saturday live when I do that, because I have to make so many cards in 2 days because I'm going live. What time was, Mike, what time did I decide?
Actually, let me bring up the floor.
He's going to find it.
I have too many windows up.
Okay, so there's some blues, or purples. Gosh, I know my colors. Now I'll do waterfall on the rest.
9 to 7.
Okay, I'm going live probably 9 to 8, I think. I think it might end up being 9 to 8. All day Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. So 2 days in a row. Please tell me somebody will come by at least here and there to say hi so I'm not by myself.
We got big plans.
Brianne will be there. I've got a lot planned. So every hour I'll be using a different company and making cards, sharing techniques, all of it. And if you are not shopping, I totally understand it. I am not doing any Black Friday non-crafty shopping, so I totally get it. Just come for the ideas. Come for the ideas and to support our small businesses during this tough time. Oh, I kind of like these colors. Okay, so now there's another stencil. Oh, here it is. It's in here. Okay, never mind. Let's line this up. Hold, please. There we go. All right. Are there questions? You'll be here. Okay, good. So you're saying you don't have a life like me. No,
Last year was great.
it was fun. My family all said they were good with it, and so we're doing it. Let's see here. Okay, so that one I'm going to make that purple. I could do another color, but I don't want to bring another color in. What is the difference between color cubes and the DIY deck builder from Spellbinders? Similar ideas. Similar ideas. I will say that the color cubes go into a lot more detail, and there are digital options. There's a lot of stuff with it, but I mean, they're both great. I've used both. I like to use both. We're whispering. We're whispering. Okay, so I'm just overthinking all this. So I did some. I'm doing this hydrangea at the center of my wisteria. And I'm not really covering it completely. I'm kind of going more towards the center and fade it out. Oh, we have more coming here. Okay, hang on. Now, Paradise at the center of the others. Have you ever glue disasters? I have glue all over my die cuts and cards. I use Gina K in fine tip bottom. Okay, if you get glue where you don't want it, get a glue eraser. The one I use is from Pink and Main, and I feel like that is a really good investment. And then if you get glue where you don't want it, you can always kind of remove the shine from that. Okay. Overthinking. Oh, sorry. The dogs are barking. I don't know why Mike left again. I'm useless without him. All right. Last stencil. I know this is taking a while. Sorry. But these colors are beautiful and I really wanted to use them. All right. There we go. Yeah, normally I would do silver with these colors, but the gold's kind of cool. I think because it goes with the yellowy green that I use. I'm doing that thing I said I wouldn't do where I'm piling up the inks. Okay. Let me put my brushes away. One moment. So what I just did is over foil, but you could instead do the stamped image. Okay, so, but look at how that foil just twinkles. It's so pretty. If you want that iridescent, really shiny look in silver, you want the foil that's called Prism. And those, I find Prism, which is the silver iridescent, and Aura, which is the gold iridescent, I find those, for some reason, foil better than the others. I don't know why. So those are the two I use the most. Can you go back to the comments, please? Mike left me to get food.
What?
You left me to get food.
No, she needed some stamp pockets.
Ah. It's okay, Cammie. My friend's here.
Back or pay.
Okay. Now, this card, remember the bottom is see-through die cutty. See how you can see through the bottom of it? You could do partial die cutting for that, but I'm going to do a fake partial die cutting technique. First of all, let me trim this down. I didn't really center it here. There we go. Good enough. Oh, we need the die. Let's die cut it. So this die will cut it all out in little bits between. There we go. It will also cut the right up to the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch edge. I just trimmed mine smaller because I didn't center it. There we go. Run that through the die cut machine. So this is the Pretty Blossoms. Pinkfresh has a lot of backgrounds like this. Some of them include a stencil that colors the background so the entire cardstock can be colored. There's a lot of different options, but look at this. I love this. So you could add it to like a light purple background, and that would show through all the little bits and pieces. Isn't that pretty? You could make a see-through card with this. A lot of things you could do. Excuse me as I push all these pieces on my floor. Okay, now we are going to, again, fake partial die cut. Okay, so if you look at the card, see how it's at an angle? You could do straight if you prefer, but I want like this. I want it to be kind of like, whoop. I'm eyeballing it. Zoink. Okay, so let's start with the first one. I'll need this out. So I cut that much off the bottom. I'm going to take this piece and I'll hold it along the bottom of my die cut. And then I will cut, but I'm going to cut a little bit past it. I'll show you. Let me cut it and then I'll show you. So if you look, see how I let this cut hang a little bit past it. So this piece, the floral piece back here, is a little bit taller than the white we cut off from the front of our note card. And I'll save this piece. So now, I will take liquid adhesive here, put a line of it right along that edge on the card. Then I'll take this, line it up with the bottom, and it'll overlap. See how it overlaps with the edge of the card? So it's attached there. And this piece, it fell off, but it goes right there. Okay? So you have that see-through. All right, but we're gonna cover that. It'll still look pretty. Just hang tight. Now, I'm gonna set that aside to dry. So this is just hanging on there. I need a piece of cardstock. You know what I'm gonna use? Maybe, would this look nice with it? Oh yeah. This is a really neat color. It's very unique. It's from Spellbinders. It is called, what's it called? Fairy Tale. It is a super, super light purple. Super, super light purple. Jennifer, do you craft every day? Vivian, I pretty much do, but it's my job. So even when I don't feel up to it, I gotta do it. Almost every day. I didn't for a while, but I'm having to work more again. So it is what it is. So this is Fairy Tale, super light, light, light purple. Very different than any other purples that I have. Very, very light. All right, I'm gonna go back to that dotted petals. I'm not sure if it's sold out yet. All right. They do have some poinsettia backgrounds and such over at Pinkfresh. I believe they do. I would just search on the word maybe, or ask Pinkfresh if Jody's still here. Okay, so I put the dotted petals press plate at the center of my Better Press Fairy Tale cardstock on this. And I want this to be subtle. I do not want brightness. We want subtle. So I'm going to use a very light purple. I gotta get my die cut machine ready. So I'm using the press plate how it was really intended to be used with the Better Press system. But remember, I used the same press plate without the Better Press earlier on. And earlier in the video, I will show it to you again in a moment. So I'm just inking this up. This will give you crisp, crisp, detailed results that you could never get from a stamp. So run this through. I will say the number one thing on my crafty gift guide would be the Better Press. Look at the detail. Look, do you see that? And you also see that there's a bit of an impression too. Now I use regular cardstock, so I only got a bit of an impression. If I would have used the Spellbinders cotton Better Press cardstock, you'd get a deeper impression. But I rarely use that. I like the Better Press not so much for the impression, but for the detail. So now let me show you. Remember earlier, let's find that card. Remember earlier I showed you how to make an impression with that same plate. So here is the dotted petals with the Better Press system. Here's the dotted petals with that flexible embossing mat in your die cut machine. Two different ways to use the same one. You can also foil with it, hot on the glimmer machine. Okay? And I actually find that for some reason, for some some reason, press plates foil better than foil plates. So most companies are doing away with foil plates and just offering press plates, which can be used in both ways. All right. Anybody who has a better press in the comments, let me know what you think of it. Okay. So now this, I didn't center it up well. I'm going to trim it down a little bit. All right. Let me just straighten it out. I'm just squaring it off. All right, so this will be used on both of my cards, and I'll show you. So now this is going to get glued up here, but I need to cut it at an angle. So I'll take this piece right here, again, hold it down here. I actually have to make another one. And cut right along that line. So I just lined it up right along my cutting edge, and now this can get glued up here. Oh, I cut it too short. Oh, my panel was too short. I'll cover it up. That's okay. We'll cover it up. I'll put a piece of cardstock over it. So this, I should have cut it so that that lined up and it sandwiched the edge of the flowers between, but we're gonna fix that. So this gets glued to the top, and I like the two different patterns. I'm going to trim this off on the edge in a moment. But see how now we got that pattern on the top. All right, we're still going to cover up that gap there so nobody sees it. So we're faking the partial die cutting by covering it up with a strip. So I'm going to put a piece of, I'm going to do gold across there again because I used gold foil. So I feel like gold across there is best. So I'm just going to cut a strip of gold cardstock and it'll go right over that gap. Okay. I'll just use tape runner for this just to save time. And I'm going to line it up so the bottom edge of my gold strip lines up with that bottom white edge of the note card. And it'll cover it, give you a nice little, and it holds that edge of that flower there too. It gives you a nice transition. So look at how that. So look at that. Isn't that fun? So there, it's see-through. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this on the inside. You need to use sounds. I got to cut my card a little bit shorter. Make sure it's lined. Yep. There we go. Yeah, I got to cut this short. The reason I'm having to cut my card down is that purple Better Press background I ended up trimming down. So this is on the inside, and we'll do another, let's do a narrow gold this time. I'll just line this right along there. Zoink. There we go. Zoink. Zoink. So there we go. So see how you can see that pattern in the inside and see through. So you could have left it white on the inside, but also now I know not to write anything there. I write it all up here and it'll be hidden. And this will stand nicely even on that see-through bottom portion. Now I'm not going to finish this one right now because I have the completed cards, but I'll show you what I did. So like for this one here, I did the exact same thing. All right, you got the bottom, I cover it with the gold strip. On this one, I also added a little coral strip on top of that and my sentiment. For the background here, I used white cardstock with really light pink ink, ballet slipper ink, and that dotted petal press plate. All right, so on this one, I would just probably add a dark turquoise strip on the gold and then add my sentiment right above it. So like right there. Okay, and you could also take another sentiment and put it like right inside here to go along that angle too. Okay, so then I still have this piece, so I can make another card. So I can do two from the one background, and they both would have this similar look. Does that make sense? So here's another one. This time I did two thin gold strips there, and this you can see through to the inside. That's that press plate. But the cool thing about this is any kind of background die that you have, like there's another background die that's on sale. me see if I can find it. Dang it. Where do things go to hide around here? Here we go. Like this one here. This is called Secret Garden. It's 50% off right now too. You could do the same thing and use like this bottom of it on the bottom of a card. So really any background die can be used for this faux partial die cut edge. Does that make sense? So you could use this right along the bottom, or you could even do it at an angle, like on the sideways, like this. All right, you just need to be able to connect from the top portion of the card to the bottom edge so it will stand up. But that's
what's stamp that was on the bottom.
This is the Pretty Blossoms. So there is a stamp set. There is a hot foil plate, which is what I use, but you can use the stamp set instead. Then there are stencils, and then there is a die, which was here. Here it is, the die, okay? So you can use this in many ways. You could die cut that background and put it over like a flat shaker card and you'd have the movement behind it. You said you have, you said you have a silver foil with the purple colors. Is there a guideline when to use silver and gold with colors? Okay, it really doesn't matter, honestly, because you can see the gold works well here. But generally, if it's, for me, if it's a cool color like blues and purples, I would use silver with it. If it's a warm color like reds, oranges, and yellows, I would use gold with it. But I don't know that it really matters. Okay, so I just need to add my sentiment on here and then make the other one. Okay? Okay, I have 12 minutes. Maybe I'll go over today because the next card's pretty involved, but I did a lot of it off screen. So this should help. Okay, let me show you. This one we're gonna do a fun fold with partial die cutting. We're gonna kind of step things up a bit. Oh, Sylvia, best question of the day. Can you scroll back up, Mike? What, on a level from 1 to 10, how's your funk status now? My voice sounds happy. The funk has gone away. I knew it would, because when I go live, I get happy. Do you notice that my voice has picked up? From the beginning, I was kind of, my friend is over today, and I just went out and I put my head on her shoulder right before it. And so I've kind of turned around a bit. Yay, yay. Okay, next. This one you're going to have to, I don't have the card completed. Bear with me. It'll be cool. Because in my mind, it's really cool. Who knows? This is Pinkfresh Humbled and Grateful. I used one of the sentiments before. This has the stamp set. There are dies and coordinating stencils. Okay, you can buy pieces if you want. And again, I'm going to use that Happy Vibe stamp set, which I think you have to have. Okay, who needs to eat? See, I don't want to cook. I think Ken said he's bringing us food.
Yeah.
What's he bringing? Do you want to stay? Kim, you should stay. I think we're going to dinner with our boys tomorrow night. My friend Cammie, her son and my son became best buddies in kindergarten. And so Cammie and I have been friends since they were in kindergarten. We were probably like 5, 6 years old when they were in kindergarten because we're young.
Right.
Yeah, okay. And Cammie's family goes on vacation with us a lot. And she's here helping me today. Okay. And she can cook. Let me think of where to start here. Okay, I did start these off screen to save time. Yes, thank you for all being here. So this is Humbled and Grateful. What I did is I stamped with black ink the image. Then I colored the leaves with green inks. And I still have the flowers to color. But do I have 2 of these done? I think I'm just going to go with the 2 I have done. We're doing blue and purple again because I have it done. But this is easy. All I did was stamp it, color with the coordinating stencils. You could also just use markers. See, the coordinating stencils are really simple. And then I used the die to cut it out. Okay, so those 2 are done. I'm going to use those. It'll save me time. Okay? I was going to let you guys choose a color combination, but I want to make sure we have time. Okay, so the colors I used here, this would be sapphire, this would be hydrangea, and I just did like dark Just let it fade out. And then the leaves would be eucalyptus from Pinkfresh. Okay, now this is where Jennifer tries and hopes that it works. Do you have faith in me, Mike?
Yep.
Okay.
Always.
We're going to try this. Let me show you my vision. Okay? Here's my vision. You'll have a card that opens like this, and then a card that opens up on the inside. So the flower, so kind of a gatefoldy funky thing. We're going to see if it works. I have 2 pieces of white cardstock that are 8.5 by 5.5, so I just cut a sheet in half. So 8.5 by 5.5. I'm going to score at 4.25. Both of them. We need 2 side folding note cards for this. All right. This can be done, the technique I'm doing here can be done with a lot of large images. A lot of the different options that I showed you today. Okay. So this is Humbled and Grateful. We're going to do partial die cutting. So I'm going to open up one of my cards and I want to place it, I'm placing it about 1/2 inch from the fold line. Let me show you so you can see. So it's about, the edge of this die is about 1/2 inch from the fold line. But the top cutting plate, I'll put 1/2 inch from the edge of the cutting, of the die cut. So see, this out here won't cut. This under here will cut. I think I'm going to move this down so it's a little bit more overlap. All right, so I'm going to leave it hanging out like that, and I will take this and run this through my die cut machine. Where do I get my inspiration from? Well, when said person has anxiety and can't sleep at night, said person has a lot to think about. Let's just say that. Okay, so look, partial die cut. Okay, so it didn't cut over here. I'm going to do the exact same thing on another one. So I'm going to put it close to the edge, like that, and do the exact same thing. And run it through again. Trying to do the same-ish. All right. At this point, in this point of your crafting journey, do you find that you are able to create what you picture in your head? No, not always. Not at all. That one didn't cut as well. Hang on. I'm just going to line it back up and go through again. I don't know what I did down there. No, my mind deceives me a lot. I think you get frazzled sometimes, and I don't know. I did for online card classes, my day 1 video for the class that starts Monday. That was a good example. That one took me a while to get it just right. Like it turned out what was in my head didn't work, so I had to play around with it. Okay, so now I don't know what I did here. Hold on. I think I need to start using a shim with that cutting plate. It's not cutting all the way through. Okay, so let me get some of this out of here. I'm going to need to cut. Yeah. Yes, OCC starts on Monday. I'm excited. My video on Monday, you make 8 cards instead of 4 because I decided to make things more complicated. But then my video on, I think it's day 3, is like super quick and easy but cool looking. So this is the So Very Merry class from Online Card Classes. It's what I teach with Christina Werner. And we have other, sorry if my head's in the way, other guest artists too. We love it because it's a great opportunity to show how to make lots of cards at once. Each video, I don't know why this one didn't cut. The other one cut just fine. I don't know. You know what? So what I did, let me just tell you, is I pulled all that out, and you end up with 2 pieces like this. I'm just going to use the 2 I have done. So see how I can pop these little pieces out? Oh, I know what it is. I didn't take the bits out of my die. See these little bits that stay in here? I should have popped those out so that they didn't get in the way. But anyways, I just popped these little bits out and I cut right there at the top. So you have partial die cutting. You could have just cut a flap, but I think this will look cool. So let me pull out the little bits from these. This one's done. So let me go with the ones I did before because they're almost done.
Can you still sign up for the OCC
Yes, you can sign up for OCC class anytime. And you can, because you have lifetime access to the videos and you can use the supplies you have on hand. You can, yeah, you can sign up anytime. The products, we use in class a specific product bundle that Christina designed so that all the teachers use that. So if you want to do the exact same cards, you can. But we also talk about other products that you might have in your stash that you could use instead. The kit will be available again. I think it's back in stock at Concord and 9th, but I'm not sure. So now I have these two. I'm going to have one go up here. Okay. So I have these. I'm going to glue these on top. Now I could have just stamped onto that edge there, right? But I'm just going to glue this one on top. It'll give it some more stability too. Is there an online group where people get together and Zoom crafting? I am sure there are. That would require me to be somewhat social. So I'm not in any of those, although I am doing one with a few friends who are also trying to get healthier, like working out and stuff, but are also crafters. So we're gonna get together on Zoom and craft while we encourage each other. I don't know, give each other advice, stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to glue this, lining it up. I told you this is the one is in my head, so we'll see. I think it'll work. Now the advantage also of gluing this die cut on top of our partial die cutting there is that it makes these little flowers that are sticking out stronger. They're not flimsy. That looks cool. Look at that. Heavy. Okay, and I'll do that same thing on the other. Jennifer is making others social against their will. Yes, Libby. Hey, it's hard for me too. So if we're both there talking about how hard it is to be social, I think we'll survive.
Somebody asked about the Misty Light. I didn't even know there was one.
Misty Light. I will be testing it out, and you know, if I find that it's something that I think you all could possibly benefit from, I will share it in a video. I have to test things out for a while before I share, because if I find something doesn't work well for me, I need to figure out if it's something that I'm doing wrong, or if it's just, I don't know. I always use things before I recommend them. Okay, so there are two. There we go. I don't know what I'm doing next. Oh, you know that fairy tale color I told you about earlier? Ooh, I think I'll use that again. Yeah, I need another piece though, because that's cut the wrong angle. Where's fairy tale? So fairy tale is from Spellbinders. I'm going to make a card to go on the inside. I could use I was going to use a press plate on it, but I'm not going to bother because we're running out of time here. So hold please. I got to think. Okay. Full sheet of cardstock, Spellbinders, fairy tale, scoring it down the middle at 5.5, folding it, and then I'll cut that in half, and it gives me 2 top folding note cards. It's always faster to score first, then cut, than the opposite. Score and fold first, then cut. It makes 2 note cards very quickly. So I'll save one for later. Now this one's going to go on the inside, but I want to cut it a bit smaller. Now I originally planned to do like one of the press plates on the background, but I think I'm going to skip that just to save some time. But you could do like a press plate background on this. So you have that, like a pattern in here. I think that would really add to it. Hold, please. I have to do it. So I'm cutting this note card. I trimmed down to be 3 3/4 wide by 5 inches tall. So I'm cutting another piece to the same size. Let's do the impression. So with this press plate, I think it's sold out now, but Pinkfresh has lots of these press plates. And remember, oops, sorry, that was loud. Remember, this Humbled and Grateful is 50% off, and you get another 10% off with my code. Christina's doing much better. She's doing much better. She's just really, really tired and has a lot of work to catch up on. And that's, if you work for yourself or are a small business owner, you know that where's my piece? This is it. When you are sick, nobody does the work for you. You know, like when I worked at Procter & Gamble, when I was an engineer, like if I was out, somebody else would do the work, right? The work had to keep going because you had like a team and all that. When you work for yourself or a small business owner, you got to keep working. And so, or you fall really behind, and she's fallen behind. So I'm offered to help her. I know that somebody else did help her, but I don't know if it's my story to tell. So you'll learn that later. But look at that. There's that dotted petal made as an impression. Yes, C-Brand, no days off. I will say over the past few years, I've been trying to work less, but now I'm back to working more. But I like what I do, so it's all good. Okay, so that I'm going to glue to the front of my note card here. So this is a little mini top folding note card that is 3 3/4 by 5 inches, and it's going to go on the inside of our card. Okay, now another thing I could do on here is put a little sentiment that will be hidden, but I'm gonna just save some time here. Okay, so I have these two. This one will be upside down, so it'll be flowers coming from the top and from the bottom. And I'm gonna glue them together so that it like wraps like that, okay? So that stays flat in there, and then this gets glued inside. So this will open up so you can write your personal message in there. I always like to have a place where you can hide your message. So see, that's what it looks like when it's closed. All right, now we need a sentiment, but first I notice I have some ink boogie up here. I don't know if it's glue. Oh, it's glue. It's glue, so I'm using my Pink and Main adhesive eraser. I'm hoping this will be on my crafty gift guide. I'm hoping they have some in stock because it's a great one. Okay, so there we have that, how that opens. So the nice thing about the partial die cutting here is it kind of makes this like continue and kind of come out. I don't know, it just looks really organic. Now for a sentiment, I'm using that Happy Vibes stamp set that I really, really like. I hope you're smiling today. You can see this is one that I've used a lot. I also like this one that says, just because you're my friend. Sending happy vibes on there, and then the miss you, love you, or love you, miss you. Okay, so I die cut extra that aren't stamped, gluing one behind it so it's a little bit stronger. I think I want it to be like right there, like that. So it'll be right in the center. So I'm gonna put glue on this flower, just on that flower there, and lay this right onto it. Bear with me, you'll see what I'm doing in a moment. So that should be centered. Let me make sure it looks kind of centered. Yeah, it looks kind of centered. So it's just glued onto that flap. Now that seems like it's barely holding on there, right? So what I'm gonna do is open this and put another die cut on the back. So I'll put glue on the back of my sentiment and on the flowers that are sandwiched between, and then glue this one here. So now that little flower is sandwiched between the layers of the sentiment. So it's gonna stay there. I'm gonna hold this here for a moment. Like, were there any questions I missed? It is a beautiful shade of purple. And the nice thing about this Spellbinders purple, the fairy, uh-oh, it's upside down, dang it. The nice thing about this fairy tale color, okay, card surgery, is that it works with purpley blues or pinky blue, or bluey purples or pinky purples. Upside down. Because I already glued my sentiment on the front. And it's all good. Don't, ye have Civil War surgery. Michael. Like from a bad movie. Okay, there, see, nobody noticed. You didn't see me do that. Okay. It's okay. Don't just stop it. So now, see how it opens?
I don't know. That's a good question.
And it'll stand up, what?
Do you always dress to match what you're making?
No, I don't always dress to match what I'm making because I made this earlier and this doesn't match. Now, what I could also do here is do a tiny like little sentiment strip and glue it right here. So when it's closed, you don't see it. But when you open it, it's right there. All right. Yeah, floss works too. Yeah, you could take floss and wiggle, you know, whatever. I just trying to get through. Okay, so there we go. So can you see how those, I just like how it's organic looking coming out from that edge and then coming out from that edge. It looks really cool on display. Can't buy anything like this in a store. Okay, you could probably add some little glitter dots to it if you wanted to, but I think I'm gonna leave it like this. Okay, so there we go. There we go. So that is Happy Vibes for the stamp set, Humbled and Grateful for the flowers. All right. Oh, by the way, I do have giveaways, and to be eligible, you just leave a comment in the chat. If you've been leaving comments, you're good to go. Now this will like flatten kind of down when you put it in an envelope through the mail, or you can just reinforce that with the bone folder. All right, now I don't have time to do the next one, but I will tell you what I was going to do if I can find it. It was that garden tapestry one. It's right here. Is this it? This is it. So let me tell you what I was going to do. Let me just put this on here so it'll dry. All right, what I was going to do, but I don't have time for, is, let's see. This isn't a 5x7 card base, but it could be a smaller one. I don't have any made. I ran out. Maybe I didn't. Did I? Yeah, these are, no, here we go. I've got one here. So what I was thinking, you could do it on 5x7 though, is putting, so this is a side folding card. I was thinking about putting this here and just partial die cut this edge, right? So that like, so it'll be, you stamp directly on the front of the note card, then partial die cut this edge so you could see a color on the inside. Very similar to what I did with this one earlier. But instead of this bird lemon tree image hanging off, it would be this side, which I think is beautiful with this. I showed you the card earlier. I mean, you can see how beautiful this image is. It was one of my favorites when that release came out. Well, there it is right there. See how pretty that is? There we go. So you could do partial die cut with that. And the nice thing about that is it adds interest without adding a lot of bulk. What? What is it?
Spaghetti bait.
From where?
Place across the street.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's see what we have here. We have these. I gotta find my cards. So leave a comment. I'll show you the giveaways here in a moment. Okay. So here are some of the cards. There we go. Okay, let me find my giveaways. Back here somewhere. Okay, hang tight. We have 2 giveaways, and they're good ones. Okay, here's one. Wait, that doesn't go with it. There we go. And let's see. Oh, and by the way, I didn't show everything that's on sale, of course. So there are many more things worth checking out. And Pinkfresh has a lot of great examples on their website. So I encourage you, when you look at the product, to look at the card examples below the main image. So here are the two giveaways. One of them is this Pure Joy. So it's the stamp, the die that can either cut it as a full circle or cut out into each individual image. There's a lot of great examples with this one. Laura Basson did a great one with it. There's a press plate that works too, and the stencils. So the first person gets that whole bundle. The second person gets the Heart of Gold. This is the lemon image that I used earlier, the stamp set, the die, and the coordinating stencils. So Mike is going to pick a winner, or two winners here in a moment. Let's see if there's any questions. So just a reminder, right now, Pinkfresh has 50% off everything I used today and a lot more. And then you can get an extra 10% off those clearance items if you use my code that's in the description. And every order gets the free die set that has a $21 value. So that's this set here. Okay, so that's a free gift with everybody while supplies last. All right, when will I be doing the crafty gift guide? Probably next week. Probably. All right. Okay, Mike, do you have winners?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so the winner of the Pure Joy product is?
It is still showing those @ names for.
Okay.
So this one is Panda Lynn, is what it comes up.
Panda Lynn. Whoever's username is Panda Lynn, you get the Pure Joy. And then for the Heart of Gold, who's that?
Joyce Morine, Morien.
Joyce Morine. Morin? Maureen?
I'm terrible with names.
Yeah, I am too. Joyce, you get these. So if you go to my website, both of you, go to my website, email me through my website, your address, we'll get these sent to you. All right.
I want to pick the people who actually
Here.
pick, not the people whose
Here you go.
names I can pronounce easily.
I know. I get that. Thank you, Cami. All right. So that's that for today.
Pin the.
Hi, bye.
There you go.
Mike pinned the names of the winners at the top. So you can, Maureen.
Maureen.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you all for being here.
I got the worst name for mispronunciation.
I know. Now I'm tired. I will be live again on 90% chance I'm going live again on Sunday at 3. Sunday at 3. Remember, everything that I talk about is in the YouTube description below. And if you have any questions, you can leave them as a comment on the video, and we do go through and try to answer all of those. So thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful weekend, and hopefully I'll see you on Sunday. Bye-bye.